You may recognize our next guest from the Food Network's hit shows like Chopped and Iron Chef.
But he's also a very successful restaurant owner and spokesperson for the No Kid Hungry campaign. Here to discuss all that and more is celebrity chef Marc Murphy. Welcome to the show.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Great. Good to have you here.
Absolutely.
Now, I have to know, how are you able to balance everything you do? I mean, you're a judge on Chopped, you appear on several other television shows. You also own 4 restaurants in New York City, of all places, and you have tons of philanthropic work.
I do. I think that, because I'm a judge on Chopped, I feel like I have to use my voice to be able to help hungry people. I mean, I'm a chef. I'm a dad. I can't imagine people being hungry. So I feel as though I have to work a little overtime, and I have to try to help the children out as well. So I do have 4 restaurants. I'm opening a 5th one in about 2 or 3 weeks. We're opening a new one on 57th Street called Kingside in the Viceroy Hotel, which I'm very excited about.
Oh,
but
congratulations.
It doesn't mean I don't have time to come and talk to you guys and get the word out about Share Our Strength, though, that's for sure.
So talk to us about this charity.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that, but in America, 1 in 5 children struggle with hunger, and obesity are sort of the same problem, just different sides of the coin, and it's really important. I think a lot of people think, hungry people in America, really? But we have a lot of hungry people in America, and it's amazing that children are affected. I mean, 1 in 5 kids. I can't imagine my kids being hungry. I mean,
16 million children go hungry every day?
And can you imagine a kid trying to go to school, trying to learn math, trying to learn how to, how to play? You can't. I mean, if you're hungry, I get really cranky if I'm hungry. Right. That's why I started cooking. I didn't want to be hungry. I mean, let's face it, I wasn't going to go hungry. So I thought I'd start cooking. But no, I just can't imagine, kids can't grow. And the great thing about Share Our Strength and what they do, they really try to give the children a voice. Billy Shore, who's the founder of Share Our Strength, says it many, many times, and I think it's a really amazing way to say it. Children don't have lobbyists in Washington. We need to be the voice for the children. And the children haven't done anything wrong. They're hungry, and they have no way of fighting it. So Share Our Strength's there for them. And right now we're in the middle of the No Kid. They dine out for No Kid Hungry, and it's amazing. And I'm extremely proud of my colleagues and other chefs and restaurateurs around the country.
Walk us through how this works. So essentially, someone can visit the restaurant, eat for free, or offer a donation of sorts?
Well, there's about 9,000 restaurants that are participating.
Okay.
And what happens is...
This is for the month of September only?
For the month of September.
Okay.
So what you do is you go to nokidhungry.org and you put your zip code in and find out which restaurants are participating in your neighborhood. And what you do is you go there, and different restaurants are participating different ways. Some of them are giving a percentage of the proceeds to Share Our Strength and Childhood Hunger. Other ones you can fill in at the end of the check. You can add a little donation on. But a lot of them, and then some of them are doing buyback coupon situations. There's a lot of different, all the restaurants sort of have their way, they have different ways of raising the money. But the most important thing is it's sort of a win all around. I mean, first of all, it's great because you get to know your neighborhood restaurants that are helping with this amazing cause. It's easy for you, a diner, for your viewers to go out and help. And it's, and you're helping out the kids. I mean, that's something I think we should all be wanting to do.
It's a win-win all around.
That's a good thing. So let me get some of the statistics correct. In the last 5 years of the organization, since 2004, you've raised $10 million, and in the last 2 years, given out over 34 million meals to kids in need. That's amazing.
The kids need the help, and then Share Our Strength is doing an amazing job. And that's why I get involved with organizations, but an organization like Share Our Strength that is really, making a difference is important to me when I do things like that.
So how will the money we donate be used, and is there a minimum amount that we can donate?
When you go to the restaurant, there's different ways. Some restaurants you'll go and you won't even know. I mean, they'll just be giving part of their proceeds. So but other ways you can add money, or go on the website and take the pledge to be a No Kid Hungry campaign fighter. Basically, I think that that's another great thing. One of the things that Share Our Strength works a lot on is trying to help states and governors become more, trying to help schools give kids more food, like in school, like breakfast in classrooms and things like that, because a lot of kids don't have food before they go to school.
That's true.
So Share Our Strength
tragic.
is helping them sort of connect the dots. They help organizations. They fund organizations that are helping different advocacy groups that are helping them out to get these things done in different states.
Now, you jokingly said that you got into cooking and became a chef because you didn't want to be hungry, but really what led you to a life in the culinary world?
Well, it sort of is because I didn't want to be hungry. That is really
Really?
true. I was a terrible student. I was terrible in school. I'm extremely dyslexic. And when I moved to New York after high school, and I saw a lot of hungry people around, and I thought, well, I don't want to be hungry, and I love to cook, so I went to a cooking school. That was pretty much, and then I started cooking, and I got into a professional kitchen, and I just got addicted to cooking.
But is it true you first wanted to be a race car driver?
There was a point I wanted to be a race car driver, but that takes a lot of money to be a race car driver.
Sure
I only had enough money for cooking school. It's a lot cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. So what was your first big break?
I went to a cooking school. It was called Peter Kump's here in New York, and then I went and goofed off a while and came back, and I didn't have any money left. So I went back to the cooking school, and my cooking school teacher, I went to her and I said, I really need a job. She goes, are you serious? You really need? I said, well, I got like $11 left. Yeah, I think I really need a job.
Yeah.
And she hooked me up with this guy that was cooking in the class, and he was also doing stages at a restaurant, and it was back a restaurant called Prefix. It was on 18th Street. The chef's name was Terrence Brennan. And I went down there, and I basically begged for a job, and I got my first job, and that's when I got hooked. That was my first sort of entry into the cooking world. And my two sous chefs at the time were, one of them is David Pasternak, who's a very well-known chef at Esca, and Joey Fortunato, who's the chef at Extra Virgin in the West Village. And those were my two sous chefs when I started. So I got yelled at by them for a while. Wow. And that sort of, I was a little hard-headed.
Well, those are good people to learn under.
Absolutely.
As is your brother. He's in the business too.
No,
right?
my brother was a little bit. He started a bit, and then he left, and now he's in the computer world. I don't know what he does.
Okay, talk to us about why these cooking shows are so popular. I mean, food has become huge entertainment.
I mean, I think it's fantastic that they've become popular. I think that they're educating people about food. I think people are getting a lot more interested in food, and I think these television shows are actually helping a lot for people to understand what food is. I think in some places in the middle of the country, they don't see certain ingredients. But luckily, being a judge on Chopped, I get to see amazing ingredients come through that studio all the time. And we're talking about them, and we're explaining how things are used, and it's just fun. And the popularity of it is, it's good for me. I mean,
it's great for business.
Great for business, that's for sure. I think that people just love food, and let's keep talking about it. The other thing that's great about these the cooking shows is I think that the job pool for people in the food industry has just gotten bigger and bigger. I mean, when I started cooking a couple of years ago, about 20 years ago, when you got a cooking job, you were either cooking in a kitchen or you were a waiter in the front of the house, and or a manager. But now you can be a food producer, you can be a food writer, you can be a blogger, there's just so many, it's created so many more jobs. I think that's another great thing about the whole popularity of food.
Well, what's it like being a reality star?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I'm a judge, and there's 9 of us, and we rotate, which is good, so we don't have to be there every day when we shoot. But we really, for me, it's just seeing these people come in, and just the enthusiasm for food is really a beautiful thing. I like to see that, and it helps the restaurants out too, because then people see you on television and they want to go to your restaurant. So it helps business as well, which is always good.
So what inside scoop can you give us about Chopped? New season, what can we expect?
I'm not allowed to say anything about that.
Just give us a little bit.
It's a great show, and the producers are always coming up with sort of new twists, and we've done some things about childhood hunger. Actually, we did an episode once where Sam Cass, who's the chef at the White House, came and was a guest judge, and we judged cafeteria chefs. I call them cafeteria chefs. Some people call them lunch ladies, but it was a beautiful episode, and hearing the story from their side of watching children and helping children eat in school and how important it was. So it's an entertainment show, but we also got into a little bit of heartfelt part of the show as well.
Now, you mentioned that you're about to open your 4th or 5th
restaurant. Yes.
Take us back to your first restaurant that you opened. How did that come to be, and what was that experience like for you?
Well, I had opened a lot of restaurants for other people before, and then I got married, and my wife and I decided, we found this little building down in Tribeca, and I was kind of happy. I was like, all right, I'm going to be my own boss. That's one of the most beautiful things. And I worked for great other people that were great. They were fun to work with, but I had always opened restaurants for other people. I said, this time I'm doing it for myself, and I don't have to. It was interesting not to have to ask anybody. It's like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's sort of, I still had butterflies in my stomach. Wow. It's a bit nerve-wracking. What am I doing the right thing? But I had done it so many times for other people that I felt pretty confident. And I just wanted to open a small little restaurant in Tribeca where it would be a neighborhood place. People could come and eat 2 or 3 times a week. And And it was a great success. It was there and cooking on the line, and the next thing you know, we're doing 300 covers a night. And I'm like, I got to get some help in here.
And that
I get
restaurant,
some people to help, man.
And that was Landmark, right?
That was Landmark in Tribeca.
And there's also one in Time Warner Center.
And then a couple of years later, the people at Time Warner called me up and they said, "Oh, we'd like a Landmark here at Time Warner." And I kind of looked around and go, "You're talking to me?"
Wow.
What? And we opened a big one up there.
I have a bone to pick with you, though.
Uh-oh.
You got rid of the shrimp salad with frise.
Oh.
You got to bring it back.
You got
to bring it back.
This happens all the
They
time.
have their favorites.
I tried to change some of the desserts in the dessert board. I got hate mail. I had to bring it back. It's crazy.
But you still have the cotton candy.
We do have
and
the cotton
fresh
candy.
caramel.
Okay. Absolutely.
So,
we do the caramel.
So we're cool.
Okay. We're
okay. We're okay.
As you can tell, she's a fan.
I can see. This is the problem with restaurants sometimes. People get to be such fan of some dishes, and so now I got to go open other restaurants so I can cook other food.
Well, it sounds like you have that coming in the fall, so we'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Thank you.
And it's the Viceroy Hotel, correct?
Viceroy Hotel. It's on 57th Street between 6th and 7th.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
And in the meantime, we'll be making sure to send everyone for the month of September to nokidhungry.org so they can find out what restaurants are participating and giving back.
And thank you for getting the word out. And yes, dine out often. Well, you should be dining often all the time anyway.
Oh, I do.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.